I'm speaking with Gardi. Is that right?
Yes.
Rez, tell me, where did you originally come from?
My parents are Kurdish. We're the world's largest nation without a state. It's between the regions of Turkey, Iraq, Iran and Syria. And my parents were political activists or freedom fighters, depending on which side you're on.
Right.
But it became unsafe for them to remain there, so they crossed the borders with my younger brother. Sorry, at the time, my brother and sister who were older, into Pakistan, where UN presence provided a beacon of hope for them. They were promised it would be 6 months before they were resettled. It ended up being 9 years in Pakistan.
My God,
Yeah,
9 years.
9 years. And I was born in a refugee camp in
Oh
Pakistan.
my goodness. So your earliest memories are of that refugee camp?
Yes, yeah.
And what was it like?
Well, we were constantly protesting. There was abuse at the hands of the authorities there, seeing people die from demonstrations, trying to get a message across to the UN through not eating for days. A lot of people died through that. And then just the refugee camps themselves, very crowded, families sharing very small spaces and cooking together. Yeah, it was pretty horrible memories, and especially in school, because in Pakistan they still use corporal punishment, so we were learning due to fear being beaten by sticks, and I remember being dragged around the classroom for getting the pronunciation of an Urdu word wrong, which wasn't my first language, so of course I was going to have trouble.
Right. And
Yes.
so how has that shaped you? Because obviously you had a very different journey. What age were you when you came to New Zealand?
So I was 6, just going on to 7, and I arrived in New Zealand. When I came to New Zealand, English was my 4th language and 4th alphabet, so I struggled at first. I didn't know any English. But I soon realised how safe New Zealand was, because at school teachers were encouraging me to learn, and they were really nice. You know, at first that was a shock for me. It was odd because I was so used to learning due to fear. So when I was not being threatened with punishment, I actually really enjoyed learning.
So you came to New Zealand and your previous experience, and did New Zealanders find you odd? Did they say, oh, where are you from? Did they think you were Maori or Pacifica?
Yeah, I had actually a lot of trouble during school with bullying because of being different, and I remember it started...
Was it because you had an accent?
Not the accent, because I learned English so fast. I was so young. Learning English wasn't a problem for me, as it may have been for people that were older, but it was looking different, and it really kicked in after 9/11. People just started questioning why I looked different and where I was from and my name. And I remember being bullied a lot by the other kids, saying, oh, you're from where they're from, you know?
Right.
And this was especially traumatizing for me because my grandmother was killed because of the Ba'ath regime in Iraq. So to be likened to terrorists was, yeah, really traumatizing.
Offensive.
So offensive.
And how old were you when this happened?
So this was in 2001. I was still really young, like about 10 or so.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So how has all of these experiences shaped you? Because it's really made you a very different person, and I can see that of gender and ethnicity has been the big driver in your life, hasn't it?
Yes, yes. Well, and also gender, because I come from a culture which is very, male dominated, and women are not seen as, they shouldn't be.
Are your parents Muslim?
My parents themselves are not very religious, but they come from a Muslim background. I was fortunate enough to have very liberal parents who wanted me to be educated, in comparison to people in the community that even till now they're questioning why I'm not married and why I don't have kids. So I was fortunate to have parents that didn't pressure me into getting married and having kids, and that other thing which other young Kurdish women do experience. But yeah, the way it's shaped me is from the start, I've lived many years trying to deny my cultural identity and being different, and trying to be as Kiwi as possible, and then eventually realising, no, I am different. When I first visited Kurdistan and seeing how powerful and beautiful the culture was, that it made me realise, no, I need to stop fighting it and embrace it, and hopefully people will accept me.
That's really So, such a common story amongst all of those in this SUPERdiverse women group,
Yes.
that it makes me wonder that we all walked a separate journey
Yeah.
and all did the same things.
Exactly.
Really.
Very similar experiences, I
Very.
imagine.
And so what drove you to choose law as a profession?
Well, early on I realised that my strengths at school were in writing, public speaking, and I enjoyed English, those kind of subjects. But more than that, it was this feeling of wanting to use it to be my way of making a difference, especially coming from, you know, Kurdistan, we're the world's largest nation without a state. We come from an oppressed background. So my way of hopefully contributing to my people will be through law, I hope, one day.
Great. Well, that's excellent. Well, we look forward to having you as a young SUPERdiverse woman. And do you think a group like this, with the members that you've seen, will be an inspiration for other young SUPERdiverse women coming through?
Definitely. I think a huge part of it is the role modelling and empowering younger women. Because if you see someone who you can identify with, who's been through perhaps a similar journey or experience, it makes it more possible for you. You need a role model, you know, to guide you and to make it seem like it's not just their world, it's also my world. I can belong here. Because sometimes, you know, the professions we work in, university, it just seems out of reach for people like us, as refugees, as a Kurdish minority. There aren't many people that have done it, so to see women who are excelling in their chosen field, I think that's really powerful.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Super excited.